This is Voice of the People right here on the Power Breakfast on Power 91.3 FM. You can also catch us on Dstv channel 92 on Topstar, as well as channel 914 on Dstv, audio channel 914 on Dstv. As we get interactive today on Voice of the People, we are joined in the studio by Remmy Kangwa, a philanthropist, social entrepreneur, and founder of the Remmy Kangwa Foundation. His work focuses on education, healthcare, food security, and empowering communities that is across Zambia. And we'll dive into his journey, the challenges of running a foundation, and his vision for a better, more inclusive Zambia with regards to the young people that he has been aiding along his way. You can also be part of the conversation by coming through. That is on 0979 192 or 0955 997 997. Remmy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
I was saying behind the scenes that we haven't met in years.
In a very long time, yeah. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And I'm glad to be here today. It's my first time.
You've never been here at Power? Not even for TV?
You mean the building?
Like the Saka house?
No. I've been here before, but I mean on radio. Is it Power FM? Oh. Yeah, it's my first time.
It's always the first time for everything.
Sure.
So now diving into the conversation, do tell us what inspired you to start the Remmy Kangwa Foundation, and what gap specifically were you trying to fill by starting this foundation?
A very interesting question. Really, I get inspirations from quite a number of things, and by the way, I'm still getting inspired to continue doing what I do. So from I think the time that I was starting, because before the foundation was Remmy Kangwa was doing these community works and all that. So I think the issue of the foundation came about because of the aspect of running a legal thing, and of course for security purposes. So this has been me from the time I was young, but of course I wouldn't say that is the only reason why I do what I do. It's because along the way, growing up in school, I met good people who taught me certain things about life. And again, you see, as you grow, you get to experience certain hardships, and then you met all these good people that help you push through. And I think it's a whole combination of quite a lot of things. So basically, in terms of the gap, and I've seen quite a number of people. I believe every person has potential, but sometimes they lack resources, sometimes they lack connections, sometimes they lack lots of things. And I believe that I may not be able to change everyone's life, but those that I'm able to do something about their situations, I'll be able to connect them to other people. Maybe there's an artist out there who's struggling to do their music or to promote their music. Since I've been to Power today, maybe I'll get you guys numbers and I'll give them. You never know what might come out of that. And so is people that are homeless, for example. All they need maybe to have the courage to continue pushing in life is maybe shelter. So I mean, why not do something about their situation? Some are just people that are living with disabilities, for example. All they need maybe is a wheelchair for them to start selling something in the streets. So many things. So again, I do not have a specific gap that I said I want to, but I think that's why I decided to go general, so that if there are people that need to go to school and I'm able to do something, and we are able to do something about the situation, I mean, why not take them? If we have people looking for jobs, and then I have a cousin who has a company, or maybe I know that at Power they need someone to be cleaning, I'll tell them there's a job opportunity. So I'm about that.
Do you have somebody who has mentored you through your journey to be where you are now? It's been Remmy.
I think I'm someone who likes learning through observing other people. Because it's hard, again, if you're not in a position to I'll give an example of who can I use as an example. I don't want to mention names of sensitive individuals.
It's fine, you can mention them.
I can mention them,
Yes.
right? Okay. For example, you know the man who runs a bank, is it Sunny or
Sunny Zulu.
Sunny Zulu?
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know him at personal level, but maybe I admire how he runs the company,
Yes.
Which is a bank. And I might not even have a chance to meet him in my life anyway. There's a possibility. But I'm able to follow him and just observe how he does things. Could be by the things that he shares online. So I think that's been the case with me, because the person, even before I opened my social media platforms that I use to help people, I was following a gentleman from, I don't know if he's from South Africa, yeah, but should be South African. His name is P.I. Pakat something. So he's a humanitarian who helps people in the streets, but he covers his face. So initially, even when I was starting, I also wanted to do the same thing of making sure that I do not disclose my identity. Actually, it's part of my agenda. I pray that I'll be able to fulfill it.
No, we know your work now.
Yeah, but someday I'll just, wake up differently and decide to cover my face and change the name.
Okay.
And you won't know it's me doing the things that surely I plan to do that someday. Because now it's overwhelming when people know you for something, and everyone in this life needs something. Everyone needs something, and if people know your face to say, okay, this is a guy that is able to help, this is a guy is able to do ABCD, it becomes complicated. Yeah.
When we get back to the Bible, which says that whatever the right hand does, the left hand shouldn't know, which you have put in context of not wanting people to know, there is a section of society that feels that when you're giving out something, you shouldn't let the whole world know that you're the one who was given ABCD to someone. Is that why you want to hide your identity in the future?
No, not really. The Bible is clear, like you have put it. What I would want every person to realize is that I'm simply Remmy, who is a face of people who help others. Right. So it's the things that you see online, the things that people see, or let me simply say, much of the works people know me for, it's not like I use my personal resources. So it's different. If I was maybe a rich person who has millions, I would decide to give without people knowing. But look, I'm in a situation where I have to put the information out in order for people to see and for people to help. Even myself, sometimes I'm uncomfortable, because there are people that I do not want to post, but I do not have the capacity to help them as an individual. So I'll be forced to post them so that people see and help them. And to tell you the truth, what is better, deciding not to post them and they continue suffering, or post them so that people help them and they get the help they're looking for? Which one is better there? I think it's better to post them. That's what I believe in.
Which I think maybe for those who are maybe hearing about you for the first time and they're trying to get to understand what the Remmy Kangwa Foundation is about, walk us through that, because I think for some they thought you are the ones who got the funds. You're the one who's helping from your own personal pocket. So run us through how the Remmy Kangwa Foundation runs. How do you help people as a humanitarian?
It's unfortunate that even if I tell people the truth, they choose to believe what they want to believe, because even after this interview, definitely not everyone is listening to this interview, but of course those who are listening. So Remmy Kangwa Foundation, it's the more reason why I decided to use my name. I would have named it maybe Hope Foundation or Charity for ABCD Foundation, but I decided to use Remmy because people knew Remmy before they knew the foundation thing. Actually, people do not even know the foundation. They know the Remmy because it's Remmy that is on Facebook. And on Facebook, it's Remmy Kangwa, not Remmy Kangwa Foundation, for example. So even as we do what we do, it's just a situation where you want to make it official. If I'm going to go for any organization to maybe ask for funds, maybe if I go as Remmy Kangwa, they would think I'm trying to promote my personal agenda. But if I go as a foundation, maybe they might, consider. So we simply depend on social media because that's what we use. We depend on social media platforms to ask for funds from people. And so far, because now The foundation now involves Remmy Kangwa name. I'm so careful also on how I ask for funds and how I also trade with people, because, by the way, if you're not aware, charity is equally business. Everyone who is doing charity is business, because you can't just go to any organization and say, I've come to ask for 20,000 kwacha. That company will tell you, what are we going to get in return? Are you going to publish it as who have donated? It's a more reason why everyone who's donating, you see them with posters everywhere, that the ones who have donated. I used to do the same thing. I had Remmy Kangwa Foundation t-shirts. Now I do not allow even my team to use t-shirts, because I want to, run away from the fact that many times we use charity to either promote ourselves, promote our businesses, and do all these things. That is not me. So it's hard. I can explain it and it's hard for people to understand. But yeah, we do depend on social media, and people should know that Remmy is just a name used because people help the same social media followers. The people who follow us on social media platforms who see what we do are the ones who donate money. But of course, even ourselves, I'm an entrepreneur, by the way. I have my own company, and sometimes we use profits to also help people. Not too long ago, I think we had a gentleman from Malawi where we spent should be somewhere 58,000 kwacha. That came entirely from the company that I'm running. So it's general, it's like that. But I think much of it is just from social media followers.
Many of the times that we see that you're being tagged over certain stories, like Remmy.
That's
So
right.
now, how do you decide which communities or issues to prioritize at that particular moment in time?
So when you get used to these things of dealing with people, dealing with the different cases, their emotions, the way, if I want to make it a little bit practical, have you ever read something online and then you feel a certain way? People react to things differently. So what happens is, if I look at something, if I look at this woman, for example, suffering or maybe having some issues, could be family issues or something, how I will react to that suggests how other people react. So when you see someone in need, you know it, you feel it, that surely this person is in need, and I think that helps. But also I try to balance, because Lusaka is a city. People are so exposed to different help opportunities and everything. So I want to also get people from far from town, who have limited resources and of course limited opportunities and access to certain things, let's say health, care, and also maybe schools. Because right now, if you ask me, in Lusaka, someone can't complain that they're not going to school because there's free education, for example. So if someone is going to reach out to me and say, Remmy, my child is not going to school, I might not really pay much attention to that, because I'll now start asking questions. So when you tell me your child is not going to school, what school are you talking about? Is it secondary school or university? If it's secondary school, is it private or public? If it's private, why then are you taking your child to a private school when there are government schools where you can go for free? So that would definitely influence the decision that I'm going to make as a person and how I'm going to react to that issue. But if someone says, okay, my child is not going to school because they do not have uniforms, I know someone is going to need to spend on uniforms, so I have to react to that. I need to provide uniforms if that person does not have, or maybe food or something. But I can't pay school fees if someone is going to a government school, unless it's a boarding school, of which they have options whether to take the child to a boarding school or a day school. I personally went to a day school. So in as much as you're helping people, you're supposed to be logical in how you look at issues, so that you don't end up spending money on people that do not need the money. Yeah.
But I think maybe my follow-up question to that would be, has there been at any moment whereby you've helped someone they receive the help that they asked for, and then let's say a few months later you find they're right back in the same spot where they were, where the help actually is only once off but never really long term?
Yes, so many times. You see, the more you help, the more you expect different results. There are people that we've helped, of course, and really it's inspiring that even you, after helping, they even start doing better than you. And I'll give you a story, and I'll tell you a story of, I think the first time that we assisted someone, this person in the end, even on the car that I never had myself, even people that I work with, you get, like years back, should be like 5 years back. And you know, you're like, okay, I'm also even inspired. I didn't know this would lead to this kind of a thing. And of course, there are also some moments where you help someone and then tomorrow you know, they misuse the help, and you feel like they haven't appreciated. But you see, also it's circumstances. Some people are not responsible. Of course, some people are responsible, but they are not just maybe able to, you know, maybe they don't have the capacity to grow something. And of course, sometimes also could be you help someone and then tomorrow they will even be against you, and you know, they will say things against you and everything. I think I remember at one point using my own money, and then someone says I stole from them, and then you're like, okay, so who gave you the money that I stole from you? Because I gave you my own money. And I also like sometimes when I do something, I don't want to make people believe it's me who has done it. So I always want to push the responsibility on other people to say, this is the, I can pick anyone, by the way, those who are closer to me, they know. So we'll go to give something, and then if I'm with a friend, I'll tell the person to say, it's not me who has given you, it's this person who has given you, because I don't want people to take it for granted that it's Remmy who has given me, because there are people who simply misuse something because they believe that, Remmy umpere, in fact, if you umpere, bamupere, even if no problem. I can lend someone money today and they'll simply say, I know Remmy can't take me to police, for example, so I misuse this money. So you grow, and you always want to find means and ways to make sure that things work for you and for other people also. So yeah, they're different, really different experiences.
And you earlier on alluded to the fact that there are certain charitable organizations that really are not in for giving, like you said. Maybe they want their names out there as well.
That's right.
So when it comes to funding and partnerships, what kind of challenges do you face apart from that?
First of all, I would like to mention the fact that as a person, as the name carrier, for example, I do not subscribe to the issues of getting money from outside the country. And I've never, by the way, I've never gotten money from any donor from outside the country. I'll lie if I say that. Now, it's not that they are not willing to give me. I'm not interested in getting. I've been in places where I know what happens in charity. Like I said, it's all business. To some even donors, you know, you sometimes you'll be in a meeting where someone will tell you, okay, we're going to give you, for example, 7 million. 2 million will be used, or maybe 4 million will be used on the actual project. Then this maybe 1 million will be used on your personal, because you are also supposed to earn something. And then this other one will go for administration, ABCD. Now, I know myself very well. Believe you me, even if you gave me money today to use for myself, I know it will just end up in, yes, you get. So I don't want to create an environment for myself whereby I agree to getting funding from somewhere, and then I have a family that also depend on me, and I doubt if they can really benefit much if I decided to just depend on charity. So it's challenging because of certain conditions. Some of them, their religion, for example, some different things. So I don't want people to lose the interest in a charity or in the issues of funding and everything. But what I believe in is simply using my social media platforms depend on the few resources that we are able to generate and use them wisely, because I think there are quite a number of organizations that even get funding from donors outside the country, but what they have done is nothing compared to what we have done, who actually just depend on social media, platform where only Zambians donate. If you have ever received money from outside the country, then it's just from Zambians who are living in other countries, for example, who just want to help people back home with maybe 5,000, 2,000, 1,000, like that. Yeah, so there are all those challenges, but I would say challenges are quite personal, because I have my personal principles, and for as long as it involves me, I do not consider really applying for funding outside the country. I just want to see if we can use our platforms wisely and just generate money within. The same one kwacha, two kwacha, if we can put them together and put them to good use, I believe we can do so much. So it's not like I'm disrespecting people that do donate outside the country and everything. No, they are quite helpful, but my principles do not sit on their table really, and this is me.
What's your biggest issue you would say that you don't want to get money from those people outside the country?
So I have seen, there are so many things that you didn't see in the lives of people that do charity, even those who do business. But I thank God that I've been privileged to know certain things about people, those who are doing business and those who are doing charity. There are some humanitarians in this country who would die today, and everything will be grabbed. Everything for charity will be grabbed from them by the family, right? To say, oh, this is because of our child, for example. And then now there are all these conflicts. If you take time if you know any humanitarian or any philanthropist in this country that say, okay, this one was really, is an individual who was doing ABCD for people. I have interest in knowing what happened when they died. The family grabbed things from organizations, all these conflicts. I don't want to be in such kind of a situation. I have a family that loves money, so I have to work so hard for them, so that I don't need to wait for people to donate in order for me to give them money. Because today I can decide to give 50,000, 100,000 kwacha to my sister. No one would just wake up and say, Remy has given 100,000 kwacha to the sister, maybe this money is from donations. No, I work and I have a company where I get money to give them. So I do not just want to be a person that is going to be there asking people for donations, then the same donations is what my family depend on, because one day I'll build a big house and someone will say it's from donations. No, I want to make my own millions, man. I'm a businessman and I'm also a humanitarian, so I want to make these millions for myself. And then I use the millions to take care of my family, because my family is different from my public image and what people know about me. This is me who has decided to be helping people. It's not the family that decided. So my family should not be affected by my decisions. I have to balance. If I decide to help people, let me find a way of helping people, but I should also work so hard for my family. I want when I die, things for charity, people should be very distant from it. And things for my family must be respected, that I worked hard as a young person and I owned so many things, and they are for my family. So I don't want to put myself in a situation where people start feeling like I entirely depend on charity for survival and for my family. I want people to respect my family and people to respect me as someone who worked hard and owned quite a number of things. So I try to balance these things, and it's one of the reasons why I'm not interested in getting certain money for now, because I want to work for myself. Of course, when you are known, especially now there's social media, when you become known online and people know you from different parts of the world, they have suggestions. Why don't you then go full-time into charity, since you're able to help all these people? I don't want to be a humanitarian that is going to help people and have a name of helping people and not help my own family. So they should also consider my family. But as a person, again, my mindset is, for as long as money comes in the name of charity, I doubt if I can use it, because I'm scared. Actually, charity has cost me much more, because there are instances where you have a problem that is worth maybe 50,000 and only receive contributions of 30,000 kwacha, I have to top up my own money to make sure that that issue is done, for just people to know, to say, okay, this is done. You get? There are instances where we have built a house and then you find that money for labor is not there. I have to work for it and give people, because we do build houses for people also through the same contributions. And then what is really interesting is the houses that we have built for people through these same 1 kwacha, 2 kwacha, 5 kwacha, 50, 100 donations are much more better than the houses that we have even seen people write on paper as donations from donors and everything. So I think it has everything to do with an individual is heading something. Yeah, really. So it's a very long conversation that we can have, but yeah, for now I want to balance things.
This is Voice of the People. Do you remember you can be part of the conversation by calling us up, sending us a message. That's on 0955 997 997 or on 0961 690 487 or on 0979 192 485. But also on social media, you can be part of the conversation. We'll read out your comments as well. And in case you are just tuning in right now, you're catching a conversation that we're having with philanthropist and social entrepreneur, but also the founder of the Remmy Kangwa Foundation, and that is Remmy Kangwa himself. We're touching on a number of things, but I would say to take a different turn. Now, looking at how the fact that there will always be people that will need assistance, but for them to be in this position, some of it might be because of policies. If policies are not those that are aimed to ensure that those at the bottom, the ones who are most vulnerable, get to receive help, what exactly can, or rather, what can the government do right now that you'd say, if the government put in this policy in place, it would make a big difference for the people that I help? What can they do?
Okay, so when it gets to government, really, a government has a very huge responsibility, really. And I'm not the only person that is helping people in this country. There are quite a number of people who are even running big organizations and, of course, doing so much more than that, what I'm doing and what we're doing as a foundation. But then there are certain things that are general. I will start from, of course, in terms of education. I believe that the issues of free education has really helped in terms of, people going back to schools, even though now it's even become so difficult for people to have spaces in schools because of maybe limited spaces. Maybe the government needs to build many more schools so that people who are willing to go back to school can now go to school without having the challenges of having limited spaces and everything. Maybe that's on the education's part. And also because I believe the government is also equally working with other organizations, so there are certain things that I would suggest now, and then you find that the government is already implementing that. So I don't know what policies are in place in terms of the government side on education aspect. I know they have been doing quite a number of things, the issues of curriculums and everything. I think that is being worked on. But in terms of health also, it's the same thing. We have qualified doctors. We've been able to do surgeries in Zambia. All the surgeries that we've been able to do, they are being done within the country by, at UTH. In total, we have done how many? I don't know. I can't count, but they're quite a number. And they have been successful, like I would say 90%. And this is done by local doctors, local surgeons. But then there are also some issues where they fail to do the surgeries, not because they are unable to do that, but because maybe the equipments are not there to enable them to do the surgeries. So maybe the government needs to invest much more in health, making sure that the hospitals are well equipped, doctors are supported with the equipment necessary for them to do the surgeries on people, and also in terms of maybe improving healthcare systems, especially in rural areas, because we have people. The other day I was learning something new. We have people in rural areas who do not even know they actually can get an ambulance from the village or maybe district hospital, and come to Lusaka for further medical treatment. And then these health professionals also sometimes they take advantage of people's ignorance, whereby they don't want to tell them to say, okay, we have an ambulance, you can actually use it to go to Lusaka. So they'll just say, okay, go home, we'll call you, and they never call them back. So maybe we need to really invest much more in information, and of course have more hospitals well equipped with what people need in order for them to access, because it's their right, by the way. Every person has a right to health care, and so I think if we can respect the rights of people and invest much more in that, it would help much, really, because we also don't just want to be helping people every day, all day, even on things that we believe that the government is able to help us reduce on this. Why should we be taking people for surgeries every day when surgeries are supposed to be there? People are supposed to be provided with maybe transport. It could be an ambulance, take them to the hospital. Why should it take now Remmy to use his money to take people to the hospital? I believe it's good to work together with government so that at least you can help a lot of people, because government also sometimes maybe resources are not enough. I do understand that fact, because if you go to ETH today, by the way, you'll be shocked that the people that we take there with the tumors, with the different complications, there are also people there. All the beds are full every day, and they're doing surgeries, and the hospital is also being helpful. So it's just the issues of maybe investing much more. And I pray that as the government presents its new budget for 2026, that they will be able to invest much more in health sector, as much as they are investing in other sectors also. But they really need to spend much, because when you talk of health, you're talking about people's lives. Yes. It's a matter of life and death. You can't have a country if there are no people. You get so what would happen if people died today? There will be no president, there will be no government, there will be no whatever. So health must always come first before any other. Imagine, can you mine if you're not health? Yeah, so before you look at the mining industry, look at health industry, because you need human resource for you to mine gold, copper, and everything. So people must always come first.
Now, how do you respond to criticism most of the time? We have seen where, like you put it, like you weigh the situation for you to come in and say, now I am helping you. And there's also a saying which says, philanthropist needs to do more. Like you said, you also don't want to be helping every day. Yeah. But how do you address this negative publicity sometimes, where people might feel like you're a bit picky with who you're helping?
Yeah, those things are there, really, and people are also entitled to their opinions. I mean, they have a right to express themselves in a certain way, and that's okay. And if your life, when your life is public, you expect people, not everyone, of course, even when you're doing something that you see yourself to be good, not every person will really see good in what you do. People have different opinions. Others will think maybe you're doing what you're doing because you want maybe to be famous or something, and then others will say maybe you are trying to earn a living through that. Others will think maybe you want to be a politician. Others will think different things. That's very fine, and they are not wrong by thinking in those lines. They're very right. So it only becomes difficult if you can't differentiate your personal life and your public life. What people say about your public life is not really you. They're talking about what they see. They're talking about the name that you have, not you as an individual. Because if someone is going to tell me that no, this person is using charity to gain money, for example, and then I'm in my office working, I know I'm making my own money, how do I get upset? So the only thing that really will frustrate you, things that maybe where people, especially for example you guys who are in media, maybe journalists and everything, try to write fake things about you. Me, I respect journalists more than I would, because if a journalist writes something about me, people take it serious. But if someone else just say per Facebook or po alemba comment, I mean, why should I take that person? Me, I would even be joking with them and tell them, hey, yeah, I'm also depending on charity. I need to feed, man. So if you tell me that, okay, Remy, go to Kawe today and help this person, you get, I need to put fuel there. Everything is an expense. So I'll make jokes with them. But if a journalist is going to wake up and say things, I've seen quite a lot of things whereby you comment on certain things. I think not too long ago, was it last week, where I saw especially these journalists who are into politics, they are so excited in trying to defend themselves, and then you see people defending themselves, calling you names. No, Remy is a scammer, Remy is ABCD. No, I am not. If I was a scammer, I wouldn't have been here today. Scammers belong to prison. And I'm willing to be audited and to be scrutinized in any way so that I can be arrested if I'm doing the wrong thing. But if I say something and then you tell me I'm a scammer but I don't have any case, then you're not being fair to me, because it means you are keeping criminals in society. You understand? Yeah. So there are all these stories that now get your head to say, okay, these people trying to send a different message to the public in trying to calling you names, and then you find that some of these people, you can't take them anywhere because they are connected to the system, for example, whereby maybe when they are typing, they're even seated somewhere, you understand? So anyway, and some people believe them. Some people believe them. That's how life is. But it's unfortunate. We should always avoid that, because one thing I've believed in, with the experience I have in whatever that we do, is that, you see, today you can be somewhere. Tomorrow, the people that you look down on will be somewhere there, man. They're the ones who will be helping you. Today it's Remy helping people. Interviews that, no, Remy, show you. Tomorrow I don't know. Maybe I'll be the one in need, and that same person that I helped will come through for me. So we should always balance life. Let's always spread love, and let's be genuine people. Let's say the truth. Let's be there for other people. I think it's necessary. It's very, very necessary. There are so many injustices that's going on in people's lives and everything. But I think we can be better people, and I think we need to do much. There is so much hate in this life. There's so much, especially on poor people's side. Man, life is not easy for them. You know, anyone can tell them anytime. Anyone can do whatever they want to do to them at any time, and no one will stand for them. And but you know, there's God, and one day their stories will change, and they'll be the ones in charge of certain things. Now I'm just wondering what would happen if today I came to you and said, okay, since I'm the one in charge of certain things, Fortrace, you are useless, you are ABC, and then tomorrow you are my boss. What happens? I'll even be shy to approach you. Yeah, hey,
you won't get the job.
Hey, you know. So I think we can
do better.
I believe we can do better. Otherwise, the hearts are always heavy whenever you are, you know, dealing with these things. Especially that it's bad. It is bad. Trust me. When I say it's bad, I mean it's bad. There are certain things that we experience that we'll never say to people, to never talk about, because you don't want to contaminate the world. You want people to feel safe. You want people to still have hope, because sometimes it's like sometimes people knowing the truth is just not good. So sometimes keep the truth for the sake of the people, to continue believing in humanity, to continue believing in, and of course having hope that things someday will be better. But life is hard for the poor.
Sure. And well, still now, as we get to close out, for all those who have been listening to this interview, who've been following you and feel very inspired but don't even know where to start from, finally, what words of inspiration and also just advice of how they can start where they are by making change within their community? What can they do?
One thing that I would want people to believe is that influence or impact does not just start with money. And helping people is not just about giving them donations in form of money or something. Sometimes it could be just speaking for them. Of course, also having in mind that the world is not friendly, so you're supposed to be careful even as you fight for other people, so that you are not killed. I think death is the end result of all of us, especially if you involve yourself in speaking for people. You must be ready to die at any time. So first of all, you're supposed to be willing. I am personally willing. By the way, I've done so much and I feel satisfied as a person. I know if I died today, my family would suffer, but at least they will have something to look at and say, okay, our child did ABCD. So be willing to die for other people if you're willing to serve them. Because even if we are Christians, then for sure we should always know that even Jesus Christ himself, who had all the powers in this world, was killed. So that should just tell us to say, oh, okay, so this is what happens if you're going to speak for other people and also help other people. So the most important thing is the decision to be a Christian. And when you decide to be a Christian, you decide to die for other people. You decide to fight for other people. And that's the first step. And then use what God has given you around you. You may not be famous to use maybe social media platforms to help people, but at your level, do what you can. You're not supposed to touch the lives of everyone. Instead, you touch the life of one. I think that's what's important. If you can change one life, then I'm sure God would be very happy for you. And could be by even being honest to people. You are changing them. You're influencing someone positively. And also, I'm trying to make sure that I keep myself safe right now. But yeah, do what we can within your means to be good to people and help them. But also be cautious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Remmy, for coming through. It was a pleasure having you.
You're welcome. And I'm happy that I came through. I must also, I would like to make mention that I was late. So the listeners were waiting for me.
Yes, they were.
All right. So next time you invite me, I don't want you to get upset with me since I came late today. Next time you invite me, since I stayed very far, I'll come quite early.
Okay.
But I also consider that you follow me home. Maybe I'll request that you follow me home.
With all the equipment.
With all the equipment, all the studio.
All right. Thank you very much, Remmy, once more.
Welcome. Thank you.
Okay. So today on Voice of the People, we are joined in by Remmy Kangwa, who is a philanthropist, social entrepreneur, as well as the founder of the Remmy Kangwa Foundation. His work focuses on education, healthcare, food security, and empowering communities across Zambia. Of course, foundation and his vision for a better, more inclusive Zambia out there. This is the Power Breakfast right here on Power 91.3 FM.
Voice of the People is a dynamic and interactive radio phoning show that gives listeners a platform to voice their opinions on current affairs, social issues, and community concerns with engaging discussions.